what's cracking? This is Darren McDuffie, affectionately known as the Phat-Man, because I want you to be perfectly healthy and toned. I've been kind of avoiding this video, and I don't know why, because I think it needs to be said. But before I get into it, what I want to do is just give you a little bit of background. So a couple of months ago, I was in my local supermarket, and there was a woman in there with her daughter. And the daughter was riding in a shopping cart, as you see a lot of the children do. I remember I used to do that when I was younger as well. But I remember her coming, I was behind them, and I remember, in the grocery store, there's a big display for Lunchables. And I remember the woman driving, not driving, but she was going over in the shopping cart, and her daughter reached over and grabbed one of the Lunchables, and she said, "Mommy, I want this." And the woman said, "Oh, well, you can't have that today." And the girl said, "But I want it." And to make a long story short, they ended up putting 3 Lunchables into their shopping cart, and the woman went to down another aisle. But what I want to express to you today is, if you're a parent out there, or if you're not a parent, you might want to pass this video along to someone who is that Lunchables are destructible to your children. And here's why. If you look at the ingredients on Lunchables, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do, they don't read ingredients. We trust that the things that we find on our shelves are going to be appropriate for us, that the government is going to protect us. But the government is being run by corporations, and the corporations have the dollars. They have the dollars for marketing, and corporations are only going to put something on the shelf that is actually selling for them, because they're in the business of making money. So I wanted to just run down a couple of ingredients to you out of the Lunchable, and I bought one just to put on the video as a prop. But here's the first ingredient: pasteurized prepared American cheese products. So it's not even real cheese. The second ingredient is oleic canola or palm or canola oil. Canola oil is not a good oil. I have no idea what oleic means. And then another ingredient is oleoresin paprika, which is just color. So that's another chemical. And here's the list of ingredients. I'm going to put it up here so you can see it. So check out all those ingredients. One of the mantras that I live by personally is that if I cannot pronounce something, I'm not going to eat it. And a lot of the times when you can't pronounce something, that means it's a chemical. And think about this. Children of this age, probably children that are eating this type of food, are probably 2, 3, 4 years old. They're just starting to develop their eating habits, and their system is not, or system or body is not developed as yet. And here they're going to be bombarded by a lot of chemicals. So what a lot of parents don't realize when they're giving these kids these quote unquote harmless foods is that they're starting the cycle of food addiction. And here's why. A lot of the stuff, again, is chemical laden, it's processed. And food is not meant to be engineered. When we were, when first humans were on the planet, they picked stuff off of trees. They killed animals for food. There wasn't a scientist in a lab saying, so, okay, how can we make this taste better so kids will get addicted to it, or kids will eat more of it? And now you have that. You have scientists that specifically are paid to sit in labs all day and find out what chemicals will make things taste better and what chemicals will make them addictive. And you have parents who are unsuspecting, and they think that they're giving their child a nutritious meal when they're really not. And really what they're doing is they're starting that cycle of food addiction. A lot of people are addicted to food. I know personally I was addicted to food. I mean, I would sit down and eat a whole pack of cookies. I don't know if you've ever seen like Oreos when they used to have the 3 rolls in there. I don't eat them anymore, so I don't know. But I would personally just sit there and eat 3 packs of cookies. And that was an addiction for me. I was addicted to the sugar. I was also addicted to the gluten. And that started for me at an early age, because I was always eating cookies. And I still like cookies, but I try not to overindulge in cookies, so to speak. But what happens with a lot of our young children is that they take these same eating habits, these addictions, over into their adult life. And what you're seeing now is a manifestation of these addictions. The young kids now are even overweight, and then you have adults that are eating overweight that have started that cycle of addiction through things like eating Lunchables. and also going to McDonald's or Burger King. And these things, again, are being carried over into adulthood. So many of you might be out there saying that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But diet is very important to your behavior. And a lot of our kids have a problem with sitting in class in school and being able to pay attention, and all of that can go back to or be contributed to what they're eating. So for instance, there was a study done in a high school in Appleton, Wisconsin, and you can look this up on the internet. And what they did was instead of doing all the processed food and the sodas and the vending machines, what they did is they contracted out, someone donated some money, they contracted out to a company that only provided real nutritious foods. And within a couple of weeks, what happened was, the discipline problems dissipated, they were gone, and the children were able to pay attention in class. So that's how important diet is to our young kids being able to learn. And if you can actually instill that in a young kid who's 2, 3, or 4 years old who is eating one of these things, then what you're going to do is be able to give them a lifelong habit to be able to eat the right foods. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at the ingredient list. If you can see that, all of the things that are in here, and there's no way in hell this type of thing can be healthy for your kids. So, I mean, like I said before at the beginning of the video, Lunchables are destructible to your children. And if you can teach your child how to eat at an early age, that's like teaching a kid how to fish. So they're going to be very, very ahead of the game. And let's face it right now that, we are in a health crisis. We have children that are overweight. We have adults that are overweight. And we have a lot of our senior citizens are overweight. And it all can be contributed back to your food. I always quote this because this has always stayed with me on my health journey, and it's from Hippocrates, who is the father of modern medicine. And Hippocrates said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food." So are you doing that? When you go to the grocery store and you're shopping for your kids, or if you are shopping for yourself, are you able to pronounce the ingredients that are on your food? Do you look at the ingredients that are on your food? Those are some questions that you should ask yourself. And please, if you have a young child, please give them real food. This has been Darren McDuffie, affectionately known as the Phat-Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. And I'll see you on my next video. Peace out.